Welcome to It's Good to Be Smart. I'm your host, Dr. Dave Mulder. I love to learn new things, and I hope you do too, because it's good to be smart. In this episode, we're zooming in on something teeny tiny, so small you'd need a microscope just to see it. But this story is actually huge. It's the story of a scientist named Barbara McClintock who cracked open one of biology's greatest mysteries, the secret of jumping genes. Never heard of them? That's okay. Most people haven't. But by the end of this episode, you'll know why Barbara McClintock's discovery totally changed how we understand genetics and why she eventually won the Nobel Prize for it. So let's rewind for a second and talk basics. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, is the molecule that holds all the instructions for how living things grow, develop, and function. Inside your cells, your DNA is organized into structures called chromosomes, and on those chromosomes are segments of DNA called genes, which are like little recipes for making proteins. Those proteins do just about everything: building muscle, digesting your food, making your eye color what it is, even helping you fight off germs. For a long time, scientists thought genes were locked in place, like beads on a string. You inherit them from your parents, and they stay in the same order, like chapters of a book that never changes. But Barbara McClintock wasn't so sure about that. Let's rewind to the 1940s. McClintock was working with corn plants. Yes, corn. It turns out corn is a great place to study genetics, especially the color pattern on the kernels. Some kernels were yellow, others were purple, and some were spotted. Weird, right? McClintock noticed that these color patterns didn't always follow the usual rules of inheritance. Something strange was going on. She studied the chromosomes of corn cells under a microscope and began to see changes. Pieces of chromosomes were breaking off and moving around. She discovered some genes can actually move to different places on a chromosome. She called these mobile bits transposable elements, or in plain simple English, jumping genes. Now, pause for a second. That might not sound earth-shattering, but at the time, this idea was wild. Most scientists believed genes were fixed in place. The idea that they could move around, that was science fiction. But McClintock had evidence. Over years of careful experiments, she showed that these jumping genes were responsible for turning other genes on and off, which explained the unusual patterns in the corn kernels. She realized genes weren't just passive information holders, they could control the activity of other genes. When she first published her results, a lot of scientists didn't believe her. In fact, quite a few of her fellow scientists scorned her work, and some ridiculed her for even suggesting that genes could move around. Her ideas were so far ahead of their time that people just didn't get it. She kept working quietly, often alone, continuing her research and building up her evidence. Then, in the 1970s and 80s, technology finally caught up with her ideas. Scientists studying bacteria and viruses found their DNA could jump around too, just like McClintock had described. And suddenly, everyone realized the truth. She was right all along. In 1983, at the age of 81, Barbara McClintock became the first woman to win an unshared Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine for her discovery of transposons, those jumping genes that shook the foundations of genetics. Today, transposons are everywhere. In fact, scientists now know about half of your DNA is made up of these jumping genes. They play a role in how organisms change over time, how diseases like cancer can form, and how your body defends itself from viruses. Some researchers are even using knowledge of transposons to develop new gene editing tools like CRISPR that could help to treat genetic disorders. Barbara McClintock's story matters because science isn't just about facts, it's about questions, curiosity, and paying attention to things that other people might just overlook. McClintock didn't just accept what textbooks said. She observed, asked why, and kept digging, even when others doubted her. And she reminds us that being smart isn't about always having the right answers. It's about being brave enough to follow the mystery, even if it means going against the crowd. So the next time someone tells you science is all figured out, remember Barbara McClintock and her cornfield of mysteries. Genes can jump. Ideas can too, if you're brave enough to follow the evidence. Thanks for joining me for this episode, and nice work leveling up your brain power today. Remember, smart isn't something you are, it's something we become as we're learning. So keep listening, keep learning, and keep getting smarter every day. It's Good to Be Smart is created and produced by me, Dr. Dave Mulder, with the support of the National Science Foundation through the Robert Noyce Teacher Scholarship Program. Subscribe to this feed so you'll never miss an episode. And check out our home on the web, goodtobesmart.com. Until next time, keep asking questions, stay curious, and keep learning, because it's good to be smart.